The mysterious Devil's Mark and the sinister witch trials are fascinating and dark periods in history that are often associated with witchcraft and the supernatural. Now, let's delve into these topics and explore their significance. The Devil's Mark, also known as the Witch's Mark, was a supposed physical mark or blemish that was believed to be left by the devil on a person's body. It was considered evidence of a pact with the devil and involvement in witchcraft. The mark was often described as a mole, birthmark, or an area devoid of sensation. During the witch trials, which occurred primarily in Europe and North America between the 15th and 18th century, those accused of witchcraft were subjected to various forms of torture and interrogation to elicit confessions. The presence of a devil's mark on the accused body was one of the key pieces of evidence used against them. The belief in the devil's mark and its association with witchcraft was deeply rooted in the widespread fear of the supernatural during that time. People believed that witches made a pact with the devil, renounced their Christianity, and gained supernatural powers in return. These powers were believed to be used to harm others, often through curses or spells. Accusations of witchcraft were often fueled by societal tensions, personal grudges, or religious fervor. Women were particularly vulnerable to these accusations, as they were seen as more susceptible to the devil's influence. The accused would be subjected to intense trials where they were often assumed guilty until proven innocent. During the trials, suspected witches were subjected to various forms of torture to extract confessions. These methods included the infamous dunking or swimming test, where the accused was thrown into the water, and if they floated, it was believed to be proof of their guilt. Other forms of torture included sleep deprivation, starvation, and the use of instruments like the thumbscrew or the rack. The witch trials resulted in the deaths of thousands of individuals, mostly women who were condemned as witches. This dark period in history reflects the power of fear, superstition, and the dangers of mass hysteria. In modern times, the devil's mark and the witches' trials are often viewed as examples of the dangers of scapegoating and the consequences of unchecked paranoia. They serve as a reminder of the importance of rationality, due process, and the protection of individual rights. Overall, the mysterious Devil's Mark and the sinister witches' trial hold a significant place in history due to their impact on society's understanding of justice, religious, and treatments of individuals accused of crimes. These events shed light on the dangers of unfounded accusations and the potential for mass hysteria to lead to devastating consequences. The Devil's Mark and the witches' trials highlight the vulnerability of certain individuals, particularly women, to baseless accusations and the brutal methods used to extract confessions. Women, often seen as weaker and more prone to temptation, were disproportionately targeted during these trials. The accusations were often based on rumors, gossip, or personal vendettas rather than concrete evidence. The trials themselves were often conducted with little regard for fairness or the principle of justice. Suspects were presumed guilty until proven innocent, and the burden of proof was placed on the accused to prove their innocence. The use of torture and other coercive methods to extract confessions further undermined the integrity of the trials, as the accused would often confess to anything in order to end their suffering. Furthermore, the Devil's Mark and the witches' trials demonstrate the power of fear and superstition in shaping beliefs and actions. During this time period, people lived in constant fear of the supernatural and believed that witches possessed the ability to cause harm through magical means. This fear, combined with social and religious pressures, created an environment that was ripe for scapegoating and persecution of individuals accused of witchcraft. The lasting impact of the Devil's Mark and the witch trials can still be felt today. They serve as cautionary tales reminding us of the dangers of prejudice, ignorance, and the erosion of individual rights. They also highlight the importance of maintaining a fair and rational justice system that values evidence, due process, and the presumption of innocence. In conclusion, the Devil's Mark and the witch trials were dark periods in history that exposed the dangers of fear, superstition, and mass hysteria. They shed light on vulnerability of certain individuals, particularly women, to unfounded accusations and the brutal methods used to extract confessions. These events serve as a stark reminder of the importance of fairness, rationality, and protecting individual rights in the pursuit of justice.